Hi.
Hey.
Hello. Yes. We're just very excited to be here tonight. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel for the July mid-month Outturn preview tasting with myself and
Me.
Robin.
Me. It's me.
It's
I'm still
me.
here.
So tonight we're going to taste through 5. That's kind of big for mid-month. We're going to taste through 5 different whiskeys that are all 5, actually. We're tasting all 5 of them tonight that are going to get released tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And before we do that, before we get to the good stuff, I just want to do a little housekeeping really quick. And that is that we did in the lottery for our summer seasonal selection bottle, we picked our first wave of winners today. So if your name was drawn, you should have received an email by now. You have 48 hours to claim that bottle, and then come Wednesday, we'll do another round and another round until they are all gone. So the other thing really quick is that the Dave Broom Tour kicks off tomorrow in Denver, which Denver is sold out. It is a sold out event in Denver and in Seattle. I know.
I can see why. Who wouldn't want to go spend time with Dave Broom and the Society? I mean,
right? And just like drink whiskeys and yes.
It's so funny because I didn't realize I have a bunch of his books. I didn't realize he was the same. I bought all these whiskey books over the years, and then I realized kind of as I moved here and was reorganized, it's like, oh, Dave Broom's name is on a lot of this stuff. So very cool to see that he's so active and partnered with us and everything we're doing. I think between him and Charlie McLean kind of got like the 2 titans of the industry right now on our side.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I remember when I was first getting into whiskey, like Dave Broom was the first like big name that I was like introduced to. It was Dave Broom and Heather Green. Those were like the first 2 names like in whiskey, and like it's just really awesome that like you said, that we have the opportunity as the society to travel with him and listen to him wax lyrical about whiskey. It's pretty cool.
So I interrupted. You said Denver and Seattle are sold out, but that's not the whole tour.
No, there are 5 tickets left in Los Angeles. And then there are a handful of tickets left for San Francisco. So a few tickets in San Francisco and LA, but Denver and Seattle are sold out.
And we have it's a book signing. It's a meet and greet with Dave Broom, but he's also signing books. And do they get a book with their ticket or is okay. So you get a copy of his latest book if you purchase a ticket, and you get to meet him. It's a pretty good deal.
It is a pretty good deal. Like Dave, book, whiskey,
Tom.
I guess Tom.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it'll be a fun night. So I'm jelly that Tom gets to do both East Coast and West Coast tour. But I'm not too mad about being here tonight, tasting through these whiskeys with you.
Yeah, it's an exciting lineup. I mean, I'm not Dave Broom, but I'm not the worst company.
Right. All right. So that's all right. So yeah, we'll taste through these and let you know what we think.
All right, let's say hi to everyone we've got here in the audience. I can only see the people who have commented. Jenna, I don't know if you can see everybody who's here, but
not everyone.
Not everyone. Okay, well, we've got Mamuka 1977. Hello, good evening, welcome. A Moore, it's nice to see you. Big Dog, always good. Ryan Mercer, nice to see you again. The Whiskey Franco, always in attendance and on the comment boards. Very much appreciate your loyal dedication, Whiskey Franco. And probably my favorite name of all of our regulars, Licurious George. Absolutely great wordplay there. Totally love that. Welcome back.
Well, awesome. I'm stoked to get into this. So shall we just dive in?
Yeah. So 5 whiskeys tonight, 4 flavor profiles. Three different regions, I think. It's a pretty exciting little runaround that we've got coming out for a mid-month. I think we got a really nice mix for the mid-month, and 5 whiskeys is a gem. So I guess let's get started. Make sure I grab the right one here.
Get into it.
So, sweet, fruity, and mellow, probably my favorite place to start a tasting. And
Dun, dun, dun.
dun, 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 dun. 9.238 Lost in a World of Afternoons. This is 13 years old. We are in is this the first fill heavy toast medium char? No,
Nope,
I'm looking at the wrong one.
This is just second fill.
Second fill bourbon barrel, and we're at 56.2%. I don't know if you noticed this, Jenna, but aside from the last one, everything is like the exact same ABV tonight.
Yeah, I like when I was like making the tickers for it, I was like, man, the ABV, like this is like sweet spot ABV for me.
Me too.
Like this is where I like to kind of like dance around, you know? And then I got to the last one and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
4 out of the 5, I think, are like within half a percentage point of one another.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then the last one is like, I don't
Fuego.
know. Like, right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's one of the higher ABV society whiskeys I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen a couple that notch up to like 67, maybe somewhere in there, but this is like right under that. So
yeah, I was like, where did you like out of nowhere? I was like, cool. Like, this is awesome. This is
just
like,
cruising.
So, well, at least we'll have 4 great whiskeys to wet our palate with for that last one.
Hey, I mean, high proof whiskey can still be awesome. I'm actually just excited to see what. I'm not going to say. I almost said the distillery number, just to see what that is at that proof, because that's
see how it feels.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Let's get into
I'm
it.
going to pop and pour.
I already poured.
Well, I actually already poured a little bit too, but I'm going to top up because I think I'm going to want a good bit of this one if I have to guess.
Yeah, it's like on the nose. I'm like, ooh, this. I'm excited. But before I do all that, I'm just going to show I got my white paper.
Oh, I've got mine right here. You taught me well. Extra thick.
Let's see. Oh, extra thick. Okay,
extra
mine's
thick.
kind of crappy because I'm not on my good camera tonight. So, let's see if I can. Oh, crap. We'll see if I can get my light.
You want me to do it? I got the.
Yeah, you go for it.
All right.
I'm not on the
issue is when I do this, I actually can't see at all. So.
Great. All right. Yep. Good. Beautiful.
We're good.
Go up a little.
I literally block the whole monitor when I do this, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's quite light in the glass. It's like a very, I don't know. It's light.
Yeah, pale, like white wine almost.
Yeah.
Almost a hint of like a little green.
I thought that as well.
Yeah. It's a really interesting color. I don't know, a little Chardonnay maybe.
There we go. Let's start with a little Chardonnay.
Warm up the palate with some Chardonnay. Actually, just again, maybe the proof has something to do with it. The names, I think, also. But this feels like a very summery lineup that we have tonight. Like we are very much in the thick of July. I don't know if it's a million degrees in Atlanta. Here in Charlotte, it is brutal. So like these mid-50s ABV, sweet, fruity, and mellow. You got a little juicy oak and vanilla in there. It's just like a really, really nice summery lineup.
So I'm getting like, I mean, it's quite malty.
Mm-hmm.
Like malty, like green. It smells green. Like it smells green.
Quite green, like a little vegetal. I'm getting some like white gummy bears, like that, just cleaner, kind of like bright, a little fruity, juicy. It's very juicy. Maybe some like green grape, or white grape.
Yeah, like white grape juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Welch's white grape juice. Just with the sweetness dialed down a bit. No
heat on the nose.
No.
I mean, this is just, it's like almost syrupy, like fruit concentrate a little bit.
Yeah. It's like the like fruit cups that you get with this in the syrup. It's like
the plastic lid.
Yeah, it's like the pears and syrup, or like it's like that lane, like you said, white gummy bear, white grape, pear. Like
pear is like right on for me with this one.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that.
It's almost like I don't know if it was like Bath and Body Works or I don't know what it was. Like I just remember like in my high school days there was like this pear like lotion that existed, and it just is like what that's reminding me of.
I think in all my days I've never had any lotion, so I
well,
couldn't
just the smell of it.
couldn't help you on this one.
Yeah, white table grapes.
It's really lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, this
really
is like I want this on a picnic, just sitting outside, summertime. Sit there all day, refreshing, relaxing. I could have this by the pool. Like this is just, daytime dram extraordinaire.
I can't get past.
Oh, and it's called Lost in a World of Afternoons. I didn't even think about that. That's
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that name. It's just very I don't know, whimsical, and you just get lost in it.
I would get lost. Like my afternoon's gone if you sit me down outside with a bottle of this.
Right?
All of a sudden it's tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'm tasting it. Cheers.
Cheers. Palate really matches the nose quite nicely.
Perfectly.
I think that malt you were talking about at first, that was real bright on the nose, and then the fruits really started to come out of the glass. But on the palate, it's got a really malty backbone.
Yeah.
Especially into the finish. That's pretty classic Scotch.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while I get a Distillery 46 that's especially fruity. It's almost like ice lolly, like a popsicle. And I'm getting some of that in this. That is a very distinctive Distillery fruity 46 note that I'm getting in this right now.
It is so juicy on the palate. It's I bit I don't know, like frozen grapes, but that were full of grape juice. It's it feels very clean and fresh on the palate, and so juicy, big, those white grapes, that peach, or not peach, pear, just very my mouth is watering as I'm talking.
My mouth really is watering just from it being there. It's so funny you said that. Today I had a frozen grape for the first time in my life.
Delicious.
It was a red grape. It was a dark one. I normally like green grapes, white grapes more, but it was still freaking delicious.
Yeah.
Just really funny that you just said that.
Grapes probably one of my favorite fruits. Love them. That's why I really got into this whiskey.
Ryan Mercer saying sounds like summertime. This thing is liquid summertime. It's crazy.
I really am a fan of this distillery. I've had a lot of whiskeys from this distillery that I've really enjoyed. But yeah, this is just like you said, this is a heightened classic, just gorgeous, juicy, flavor packed Speyside whiskey.
So I'm actually not super familiar with this distillery, oddly enough. And this is making me want to do it more, especially because there are a lot of people I know who are screaming from the mountaintops about this distillery.
Yeah.
And so it's just how have I kind of overlooked this one as much as I have? So I'm going to need to do some digging, find some more Distillery 9s.
Yeah, they're great. I've got a few in here that I've really enjoyed, and really of all ages, young ones, kind of middle of the line where we are, and then some that are a lot older. Mamuka 1977 said, white grapes, pear, peach sounds like a 10-year-old Armagnac or Cognac even. I feel like this is more, not as rich. Cognac and Armagnac gives you that kind of denser, richer, I don't know, profiles. This is more bright and juicy on the palate.
100. This is energizing. I feel with a Cognac or an Armagnac, you want to just sink in and
into your chair.
Yeah, just lose yourself. This thing is vivacious, it's pumping me up for everything else that we've got coming.
Yeah. It feels so cool on the palate. Almost
mentholated almost.
Yes, but without the flavor of a mentholated anything. I'm not mint or anything, but just that sensation on the palate. My palate's quite cool.
Yeah.
So it's really good. This is just a really solid, really good whiskey. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it.
The thing I've been like trying to wrap my head around for maybe the last minute or two is, if I hadn't seen the label, where would I have guessed the age on this thing to be? Because it has some like really lively, young, kind of vivacious notes, like you said. But there's also a lot of cask influence and like a lot of depth going on there. So it's one of those ones that's kind of sitting on that fulcrum and giving you a lot of the fun of a young whiskey, but the balance of an aged whiskey. It's actually pretty lovely.
That's a great way to put it. Like, I could not agree with you more. Like, it's just a really good whiskey.
Yeah.
This is a whiskey that you friends come over.
No bad occasion.
Right. Like, you pick this.
Easy choice. Yeah. There's a lot of times that this is the whiskey I'm gonna want.
Yeah. So I am not at all mad at this. This is a winner. I'm gonna stick this in the front.
Ooh.
So I pick it up and we'll drink this. So I'll be pouring this for my husband later this week. I think he'll really be into this. So
cool. Yeah, I might pour some of that for Katie later. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna finish this. Usually I just don't, but I'm gonna.
Mine's already gone.
Okay,
I poured extra because I was like, I think I'm gonna like this one.
Yeah.
and I poured a little bit more.
I'm gonna finish this.
Yeah. It's also incredibly easy drinking. I mean, right at that, what was it, 56.2? 56.2. I mean, it goes down so easy. That's
like that sweet spot that just like, that's where I love my ABVs, like typically.
I mean, I could see this selling out. This deserves to sell out quickly. If it doesn't, this is like a hidden gem all over it.
I agree.
But this is the kind of whiskey where I spent a week in California, a week or two ago, doing a couple of events for non-members to introduce them to the society, to teach them about single cask, to talk through distillation, all this kind of stuff. And like, this is a whiskey I wish I had to feature there, because this is just like taking what they think, they being the average Scotch consumer, taking what you think you know about like a Speyside malt driven, fruity single malt, and just dialing the knob way the fuck up there. Like this thing is just hitting so hard on what you'd be looking for if you're someone who says they like single malt, but has kind of just explored the big guys' core offerings type of deal.
Yeah, it is dialed way up.
Yeah, sorry, I sometimes get excited and
no, I was gonna.
Yeah.
I don't think we get dinged or anything on YouTube. I don't know how that works. That's Scott's job.
I mean, the way I like to think about it is, we know everyone's 21 plus, so some fruity language, it can get R-rated, you know?
That is so true. Well, it's really fucking good. Okay.
There we are. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you.
So now we'll both get
we'll get the slap on the wrist together. Thank you. Okay.
And one thing to mention really quick before we move on. So the first two whiskeys that we're having are going to be in 750 milliliter format. And then the last three are going to be in 700 milliliters. So just in case you are curious or you want to know, that's the scoop.
Still in that like here and there phase.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Number two, we're keeping with the pink tops.
Another pink top. All right. It is like everything's Barbie right now. Everything's
yeah.
Barbie this, Barbie that. So I guess we're doing it too.
I went and saw Oppenheimer instead. I'm not interested in Barbie.
I've not seen either of them yet. So
the whiskey. We'll just come right on up here. Ooh, a nice big age statement from a nice underrepresented region. Look at that. We have Distillery 5.97, Embrace Summer. This is, of course, a lowland, one of the few lowland distilleries that we have floating around. Distillery 5, very quick I think for most members to recognize which distillery that might be. 18 years, first fill, ex-bourbon barrel. We're keeping it right in that 56% lane that we're driving in tonight. We're at 56.7 with this one. And keeping with that summery theme, embrace summer.
Let's see if I can color this. This one's a little darker.
Yes, well, it's a little older, so that adds up.
Yeah. First fill on this one as well. Yeah.
Now, this is one I have had and have
too.
properly visited because you and I were supposed to taste this one on a different video a while ago, and then we rejiggered some things to mix up our release order, and so now we still get to drink it together, which I'm excited about.
Finally.
I know. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. We each had it on our own.
I know.
Ooh, okay. Are you getting a lot of wood on the nose?
Am I?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I'm getting like if you poured like melted butter over like some type of like red Jolly Rancher.
That is a crazy combination of flavors.
Like it's buttery, and then it's like almost getting like artificial like red like cherry Jolly Rancher or like Twizzler, like that thread. I just can't dial it in.
I'm not getting the red. The butter, I'm right there. Like it's got a fattiness, an oiliness going on. It's thick. It's very rich.
It's very rich.
But I'm not getting that like I'm getting more like oak and caramel and like a lot of almost bourbony notes coming out of it.
You know, I'm getting a very clear like red, like almost artificial red fruit. But I am getting like that buttery. It is rich. It is like, it smells like quite viscous and meaty on the nose.
Let's see. It's got some thick legs on it. I'll try and get my face out of there. See if, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I am getting like a little of that caramel, and I'm getting oak for sure. But it's not like aggressive in any way.
No, it's just almost like a fatty, buttery bourbon.
Yeah.
To me.
I could see that. With like some Twizzlers, like a Twizzler. It's like you have a big buttery fat bourbon and then you're drinking it out of a Twizzler straw. There you go.
That'd actually probably be pretty good. I wouldn't mind that.
Too bad I don't have any Twizzlers. I'd try it.
Speaking of trying it, I'm going to try it.
Ding!
Let's see. Ding!
Before that even like I could taste anything, I mean it was like almost like pop rocks on my palate.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Had a big change into the finish on this one for me.
Yeah.
The finish, I'll start there because that's what's happening right now. Very, very whipped cream.
Like oily whipped cream.
But like vanilla, I don't know, like whipped cream can straight to the face, like just mouthful, or like pie tin. Someone's just smashed me like a clown with a pie tin of whipped cream, maybe some like banana cream or something, just so concentrated.
I could see that on like the texture. So whenever I make whipped cream, it's like, you know, I use like the fattiest dairy I can get my hands on because I just personally love that like very viscous, like after it's out of your mouth, you're like
still trying to
you're
lick it off.
I just love that, especially in coffee. Oh god, it's like the best. But there is like almost like a vanilla extract note in there. So I'm with you. I mean, that is quite viscous on the palate.
Whiskey Franco saying triple distillation tends to soften things up. Interesting to hear this is more robust. I don't know if it is more robust. It's just very concentrated.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a big whiskey. It's
Mhm.
pretty subtle. It's incredibly smooth. It's just fatty and
Fatty.
yeah, like really oily.
Yeah. I like that. It's a fatty whiskey.
I'm big on texture. I don't know. Texture doesn't get talked about enough when discussing whiskeys. Mouthfeel, palate, weight, all that.
I'm with you 10 billion%. It is one of my favorite things about tasting whiskey is like, yeah, obviously flavor, nose, all of those things. But I think, like you said, texture is so important in a whiskey because I've had whiskeys that taste great, but it's like thin, like, and I'm like,
I just want a little more.
Yeah. And then, sometimes you have whiskeys that are like, super, fatty or like super viscous, super heavy. And, maybe the flavor kind of tapers off. But I think texture, I'm with you, is very important.
I am kind of amazed at how robust isn't really the right word, but just like how present the finish is. I mean, I took the tiniest sip and it hasn't evolved much. It's not one of those finishes that really progresses and kind of evolves, but I can still totally taste this. I mean, it's still just hanging on with that fatty vanilla. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best way to just wrap that whiskey up is it's a fatty vanilla whipped cream of a whiskey.
I'm not getting a good name.
Big red fruits like I was getting on the nose, on the palate. But I mean, it's just a really elegant, dialed in, fatty whiskey.
I don't get a ton of taste on the palate. I actually get much more in the finish. The palate's a little bit woody and not especially tannic or anything, just tastes woody, almost like you've got a stave in your mouth or like a dusty attic. It's got some like old taste to it.
Yeah.
And then kind of the sugars and the cream really ramps up as it transitions into the finish.
Fatty whipped cream and a dusty old attic. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
I'm into it.
My taste. With a Twizzler straw.
Yes, with a Twizzler straw.
Don't forget, you're stirring your milk cream with a Twizzler straw.
With a Twizzler straw. I like it. Well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like there's much more to say about that one. Like it's
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, really lovely, but pretty straightforward. I don't know. It didn't change a ton on me. It was just a lot of that. Yeah, the notes we've talked about time and again. I know. I don't know how I'm going to get that. I need like something acidic to cut the fat.
Yeah.
But all I've got is water. So
yeah, me too. Oh. No Twizzlers or snacks. All right. Well, shall we keep going?
Yeah, let's go into a new flavor profile.
We cruise into the next one, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I think it makes sense given all the notes we were just talking about to do some juicy oak and vanilla. I mean, that seems like a good transition from where we just were.
So. After something quite vanilla-y.
A little woody, a little vanilla-y, a little Twizzler-y. Those are all notes I get from juicy oak and vanilla.
The color of this whiskey.
Whoa.
Oh my God. What? Okay.
All right. You want to give the stats and I'll do the paper thing?
All right. Deal. All right.
This color is crazy, folks.
This color is, I was like, wait a second. I was like, what kind of cask is this again? All right. So this is cask 12.73, a barrel of laughs. This is an 11-year space side that was in an ex-bourbon barrel and then went into a first fill heavy toast medium char barrel, which I love these HTMC casks so much. Some of my favorite whiskeys, and particularly in the juicy oak and vanilla flavor profile, have come from this cask type. So very excited to, and I don't think I've ever had this distillery in this cask type. Super stoked. And 56.2% ABV.
I mean, the stats just sing. Like, that's all things that I want.
Yes. And I mean, like, as I was pouring it into my glass, I was like, oh my, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's amber, like gold.
But there's like a hint of like
a little red.
Yeah, I was gonna say pink, but
Pink, yeah.
like pinkish orange, maybe. I don't know. It's like
it's kind of it's a bit lighter in color than a trip to the dark forest that we did, but when we poured that and we were just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the same reaction I'm getting with this one, where it's just, whoa. How old is this? 11
years.
Yeah,
I gotta look and see what the split is. Hold on, I'm gonna look really quick. The nose was not what I was expecting either, at all. Ooh, I'm excited to get into this one. All right, hold on. I'm gonna look really quick. I just want to see what the.
And Distillery 12 is another one that I have not explored as much as I need to, and also has some like serious acolytes behind it.
Yeah, it does. I actually wore my t-shirt from this distillery today on my run. So, all right. So this was 9 years in a bourbon barrel, and then it went to first fill heavy toast medium char. So
I just want to keep nosing this. That is so lovely.
I know. I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
Like freshly polished wood.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting something in there. It's like a little dry, a lot of florals.
Yes.
Like really flowery. A little bit like the was it Distillery 108, the festival release we had, Frolics in a Rose Garden or something? Yeah. It's called something like that. It's got some nose that reminds me of that one.
But then there's also like it's almost like a cross between like, there's like a bubble gummy, like cotton candy thing happening in there that I was not expecting.
I mean, I was almost going to say Twizzlers. I mean, like, actually, though, yeah. I was almost going to say, I don't know if I would have thought of it if you hadn't been putting that in my head, but like, it's got that kind of, when you open the bag and you kind of just smell all the Twizzlers.
But like you said, there's like a like polished wood. It's like if you smushed bubble gum into like a freshly polished like wood table. Like,
God forbid.
I'm
just thinking about like
the table on top of the table.
Just Catholic school, the nuns. If you chewed gum, like if someone tried to hide it under their desk, they get smacked across the face with the ruler. That's just never gonna happen.
I mean, this nose is like so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. But then it's like you said, it's like floral. It's
let me see if I can show the legs on this one too, because this thing, I mean, it's just making a ring around the glass almost.
It smells very like rich, very dense, yet bright and like fresh and floral. I don't know, man. This is like kind of all over the place. Whew. I'm excited to taste this.
Me too. Does it trip you out, by the way, that StreamYard like doesn't mirror things? So
I'm always like, see, I'm pointing to you right now, but I think what everyone else can see is I'm pointing away from you. So I have to like point at you this way.
Well, that's why I seem like I'm an idiot when I'm like trying to bring the glass into the picture and it's like, oh, and there it goes. Because it's all flipped. I don't like it. All right. Let's taste. Sorry.
Buy this whiskey. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Charlie.
That is silly.
Okay. I just like want to keep tasting that. OMG.
That's delicious.
That is.
That's delicious. I don't think it's as versatile as the first one,
No.
but it's also not. This is one of those whiskeys that I think can either command attention or just go with the flow. Like, I think you would love this whiskey if you were just enjoying it, sitting down, having a conversation, not really paying attention. Or if you sat down, I'm like lost in a rabbit hole of what's happening right now. I can't cling on to the flavors because there's just like a spiral. The first time I had Corey Vrecken, I was like, I understand the little logo they went for on this because the flavors are just spiraling around like crazy. Like that's what's happening with this whiskey. I can taste like 20 things, and before I can focus on any one of them, it's darted out of my attention and something else has come in.
And I feel like I'm about to drool on myself because my mouth is just like salivating like crazy after drinking this. Oh my gosh. This is, yeah, like I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what to say.
$130 well spent.
Get this whiskey. I think this is one of those whiskeys that, like, if you're like somebody who really enjoys whiskey, tasted, a lot of whiskeys in your time, you want something that's just different, but still really kind of like dialed into just great nose, great palate, great finish, great experience. Like this is one of those whiskeys. Like I really like things that kind of catch me off guard or like are a little different or kind of throw a curveball, so to speak. And like this is hitting like every single one of those notes for me.
I legitimately lost the ability to hear for like 10 seconds there because my brain was just focused on it like shut down the other senses because it was just overwhelmed by taste. Does that ever happen to you? Like my ears almost start ringing because it's just the taste is doing so much for my brain to focus on.
I'm gonna taste it again.
You might break down.
I might start crying or something. I don't know. I'm going to start malfunctioning over here for sure. All right, let me get my life together.
That heavy toast medium char cask is like doing wonders on this.
Okay. I'm going to taste it again.
I'm like,
taste it again.
It's funny because I don't know if I've had as many amazing whiskeys as we've tried. I don't know if I've had the feeling where I almost actually just picked up my phone to text my friends to buy this. It's like, I'm worried that you guys might miss your chance. It is so good. You actually need this.
Even like, oh my gosh, even when it's just like rolling around on your palate before you've like even like taken a breath to actually taste what is happening. I mean, it is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, one, texture on this is like amazing. It is like silken yet like
a little bit astringent, just a touch.
But I think that it like balances all of that like richness of the whiskey out. It's like, dude.
Oh my gosh, did my glass get bigger?
Dude.
Yep, like, I had to pour some more.
I really like this.
Yeah. And Juicy Oak and Vanilla is normally not like my tops profile. But that to me, that like speaks to this whiskey because I'm flipping on this.
I just don't even know what else to say. Get this.
What's weird, you just opened yours, right?
Mine was opened today, like around like 3-ish this afternoon.
I took one sip out of this bottle when I got it 10 days, 2 weeks ago. Just like opened it as soon as I got it, took literally a thimble's worth right away and was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that's good. Juicy Oak and Vanilla. It's nice. It's pleasant. Like I can definitely think of who this is for. And now coming back to it 10 days later, I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, I don't even really know how. I'm going to read the tasting notes on this one because I'm not even really sure how to describe what's happening.
Mm-mm. No, it's one of those rare whiskeys I've had that is just like, you wanted to taste this? Too bad. Here's dopamine. You're just going to be happy. Enjoy it. Have fun. This is going to be a nice little rush for you. But
yeah. And I love that it's called a barrel of laughs because we legit have been
cackling.
Like, I think it's because they probably tasted it and had the same reaction. And they were like, what the hell do we call this? Like, we don't know. And everyone in there is just cackling, like tasting this whiskey.
I didn't realize that the names are sometimes are like either meant to describe the whiskey itself or the experience the panel had while tasting it. Like, it can also just be to describe what they went through. And it's like, yep. Makes sense. They
did exactly what you and I are doing right now.
Just lost it. Just fucking lost it.
Yes. This is okay. Well, I'm gonna read the notes.
Let's get formal. Let's get official.
Because I'm curious, like, will we find any of this stuff? Because I don't even know what's happening right now.
No.
So I can't even comprehend or tell you. If you're like, what does it taste like? I don't fucking know. Because I can't tell you. So
tastes like happiness and rainbows, maybe? I'm not certain. That's as close as I can get.
All right. So this says, sprightly wood influence is balanced by exotic fruit syrups, flower nectars, and many notes of caramels, milk chocolate, and coffee.
Not as specific nor as esoteric as they normally get. So I think they were also just like, it's fruity, it's woody, it's delicious.
Right. Exactly.
It's exotic.
They were probably like, guys, we need like get it together. We need to be a little more professional than this, but this is what they gave us. But I hope that everyone who gets this whiskey has the exact same experience you and I are having with this. Like, I wish that. I wish this feeling for every single person who gets a chance to taste this. Like,
I want, if you guys and gals buy this one, call in and let us know. Like, please, because this is one I want to talk to people about. I just want to know, like, am I crazy? Is it set and setting, or like, because this is doing something special.
Yeah. I was not expecting it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I knew that I was excited to taste this because I really love that cask type. Like any HTMC cask that comes through, I'm like, sign me up. I really, really like those. And they provide like such a big variety of flavor. You know, it's not really like just one specific kind of note or like series of notes that like I've had cask and from HTMC casks that are just kind of all over the place, and that's why I really like them. But man, this is a winner.
A barrel of laughs.
A barrel of laughs. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I still think, I mean, it wouldn't really work in this case because we'd probably both choose it, but I'm like I'm lobbying that we can do like each of us on the staff picks our own bottle of the month, and we can just like, I don't know. It would get really complicated because there would be like logos freaking everywhere on the site, or maybe one person gets it. But like, how would this not be the bottle of the month?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think too, it's like, you know, here in the US, we don't get a chance to taste everything that comes through, you know, and like not everyone gets to taste, you know, we only get to taste these like the day before they come out, you know. Like, even if we get bottles a couple days or weeks before, like, I know I wait to do that. So like, we don't really get to taste them before. So I think probably the tasting panel, like, tasted this and had this experience. And then they were just like kind of laughing, like, oh, I can't wait, like, for everyone else to have this kind of moment. So it would be really interesting. I think there were 161 bottles of this.
That's what I was just going to check.
Yeah. And so like, what, 100 and like, maybe like 50 people, I'm sure they hold some bottles back, are gonna get to have like this moment.
Unfortunately, I'm refinancing my house and buying 140 of these. So sorry, everyone.
Okay, we're taking like so much time on this.
It needs it. It needs it. This is important whiskey. This is a special one.
That is All right.
All right. I
Back
haven't
to
finished
the
it, so I'm gonna.
It's so good. Buy it. All right. Let's get to the. I know it's so good. Okay, but seriously, on a serious note, if you do pick this up, please, like Charlie said, please send an email, get in our DMs, call us in, Discord us, whatever the case is. Please let us know what you think of this. So Charlie and I don't think we've lost our minds.
Yeah. No, I need to know. I mean, I don't know what's so special about it. I don't even know what it is. It's just like, all right, we've said it enough times. I feel very sorry for the next whiskey because like we set the tasting order. I thought it made great sense. And now I just feel terrible for this one, especially because I love this distillery. It's super under the radar. I remember the first time I had one, it was a Society bottling. It's one of my favorite spicy and sweet bottles I've ever had. I've got a bit left of it, but tonight we are going a different direction. We are doing a little deep, rich, and dried fruits. Let's make Scott happy.
Also a beautiful color, by the way.
Ooh, you are well ahead of me.
Yeah.
I was lost in the last one. So
back to follow.
we've got another good name here on this one. So I can do the little readout if you want to hold it up since you've already got it poured. Yeah. So we are doing 77.74. Ooh, gotta flip the way it should be going here. 77.74. That is Oh My Darling. It is a 13-year in a first fill Spanish oak Oloroso hogshead. And once again, keeping with our theme, we are at 56.8% ABV on this one. Deep, rich, and dried fruits, which everyone on this video is certainly already aware of, having seen that orange copper, I don't know what you call it, little stripe. Did I miss anything?
No.
No?
Yeah. I think you're pretty spot on with that.
All right. Let me put this down.
I do love the name of this. Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling.
How southern.
Right? Oh, I should probably. Oh, that only comes out if I've had. That's tucked away.
Yeah, wow. Color is pretty crazy on this. I don't know what's going on with my lighting tonight. It's like very much coming from this side, throwing shadows. It's looking weird. So I'm having a hard time actually getting the richness of the color to show up on camera.
Let's see.
But you've got it going there.
Like a warm, looks like leaves that have fallen on the ground.
Mixed with some honey, maybe?
Yeah. It's got a really beautiful nose. I like, for real. And lately, me and Sherry Cask have been getting a little better acquainted. Ooh. It's been a while. I know. I don't even know what's happening to me.
Spending too much time with Scott.
I guess so.
I just sent Scott a care package, and it's all mystery labels. All I gave him was cask type, and it's, I think, 9 different cask types, but all like weird, super weird finishes. And so I'm really excited to hear from him what he thinks they are.
What he thinks, yeah. Maybe you and Scott can go head to head in a blind tasting challenge.
I don't want to take him up on that. He will kick my ass. I'm saying it right here to the public.
I'm like, I'll volunteer to send samples.
Yeah. No, speaking of which, I owe you some samples. So we'll connect on that.
We'll do a swappy.
A lot of dried fruit on this.
Yeah. But it's it's quite warm. It is a lot of dried fruit, like fruitcake almost.
Totally. On the Discord, I don't know if the question came today, but I answered it today. There were people asking about the spicy and dry profile. I guess that's one that's not as explored. And the way I said it there is it can be like kind of a chimerical profile for me, where sometimes it's like a less sweet and drier version of deep, rich, and dried fruits for me. And sometimes it's like a less sugary version of juicy oak and vanilla. Again, like more tannic And this to me, and maybe it's because so much of the spicy and dry I have is actually sherried, but this almost straddles that line to me of deep, rich, and dried fruits and spicy and dry.
I could agree with you on that. Like nosing this blind or not knowing and guessing.
It actually reminds me a bit of the which whiskey was it? We just had something else that was in a first fill Spanish oak Oloroso. I'd have to look. It came out a couple months ago. It was also a deep, rich, and dried fruits. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Sorry, this is not fun content for anybody. Me just scrolling through an Excel sheet trying to find which one this.
You'll find it.
I'll find it.
But it is. I can see like it is. The way it feels on the nose is like dried. It's like dried fruits. If that makes any sense. Like
I'm trying to figure out which. I mean, there's some fig in there.
Yeah, fig, date.
Maybe some prune. Yeah, date.
But then there's like a little spot, like
8570, a Spaniard in here lurks. That's the one that this reminds me of. That was a good one. And I'm getting some like cocoa dust.
Yeah, like a bitter chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm still getting like, there is like on the very back, like a vinegar, like a balsamic vinegar note I'm getting.
Do you mean that, because I think for some people that would be a positive and for some people that would be a negative. Yeah. I take that as a positive with how,
Me too.
Yeah. Like not some bullshit like Field of Greens. Yeah, they throw out the cheapest balsamic. This is like some aged, refined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or even like a glaze, like a balsamic glaze. Like just really just rich. So, all right. Well, I'm going in.
Cheers.
Tally-ho.
Definitely deep, rich, and dried fruits. I mean, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of dry cask influence, a lot of dry fruits, very sherry.
This is quite like, you know, like how you have some whiskeys, especially sherry whiskeys, and you're like, oh, yeah, I would have this like around the holidays. Or, you know, it's like holiday whiskey. This whiskey tastes like, it's like fall whiskey. I mean, this is like
first departure spooky, from the summer theme.
Yeah. Like this is like spooky, like leaves. Like it's a little dusty, which I really like. I mean, this tastes like. This is what it is. This tastes like the Haunted Mansion smells.
Nice. I honestly was thinking as you were talking that, like, I'm going to put a Post-it on this that says drink on Halloween. And then like on Halloween, when I'm trying to decide what to drink, I'll already have it picked out. That is perfect.
I'm like, this, I know this. Where is this taking me? I know this profile.
What's awesome about it is like, you know, with this whiskey, if Michael Myers broke into your house and you were just like, whoa, I got something for you. He'd be like, all right, let's just sit down and talk this out. I had this all wrong. I'm very sorry.
Mike Myers comes through, Edward Scissorhand, you know, any of them just roll up. This is definitely the whiskey that you want to pour for them. But yeah, there's like a dusty, like musty quality to this that I really like. And it's like, there's almost like you said like that cocoa. There is like almost a bitter note that's sitting like right in the center of my palate. I really like it. I mean, it's like fall whiskey. It is literally like, I don't think I've ever had a whiskey where I'm like, yeah, this tastes like Halloween, or like this tastes like my Haunted Mansion.
I mean, I think it's in an unfortunate place where it just came after something that was so outstanding.
Well, that too.
That like, it's really lovely. I just hope that
It really is.
to the viewers here, we're not gushing over the moon about it like we were at the last one. That's not doing it justice. I mean,
No.
it's so different, and it's tightly composed. It's really, really nice cask treatment. Like
Yeah.
the Spanish oak Oloroso, like Spanish oak's a little more citrusy. You get a little bit of that brightness in there, but it's coupled with all of that kind of dusty, dark, dank, kind of like almost a little mysterious. I don't know. It goes a lot of directions.
And as I'm talking and it's just kind of sitting on my palate, I am getting that like cocoa powder, that like a little dark chocolate or like bitter chocolate as I'm just like talking and as it's like evolving on my palate. There is definitely an element of that. And it's like very just like roasty, almost like I could see like chocolate espresso-y, like or like sipping a espresso hot chocolate on the Haunted Mansion.
Do me a favor and jump back into the nose for a second, because coming back to it, I'm getting like Indian food spices that I did not have. Not like super rich curry or anything, but like, I don't know. It's not really anise. I don't know what it would be. I haven't ever cooked Indian food. I've hardly cooked any food, let alone been adventurous enough to try cooking Indian food. But it smells like when you go out and get Indian food sometimes, and then with the just dry fruit thrown in on top.
Yeah, there is like a I almost want to say like cinnamon, but like a cinnamon hot chocolate or like a Mexican hot chocolate. Yeah, this whiskey is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's quite lovely. Sean's face says coriander.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, coriander is a good call. Also, we were talking about cardamom earlier. Maybe a little bit of cardamom on there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a really, if Deep Rich and Dried Fruits is your jam, I think this is at least in what I've had recently from us in Deep Rich and Dried Fruits, this is a nice little departure from some of the other kind of, typical lanes of Deep Rich and Dried Fruits that we've had. So I really like it.
It's nice to me that it's not sherry bomb territory, because for me, I take issues maybe stating it too strongly, but I don't love when it tastes like high proof sherry. I still want to taste the malt underneath, and that's totally the case in this whiskey. So it's a good one.
I agree. Really, like, I kind of want to put a note on this too, or like hang a little spooky friend around it and stick it on the shelf.
Just have it in the background. That's
like a spooky whiskey.
I have a group of friends, all society members, and we started doing a thing a while back where I don't even remember. We went and got like those ball, like you put a quarter in and you spin it and a little plastic ball comes out and you get like a keychain or some kind of trinket. And there were all these like dumb sushi trinkets.
Yeah.
And so we started doing whichever was the best whiskey we had tried for the week, got our Tuna of the Week award, and we put like the sushi keychain around the neck of the bottle for the week.
Tuna of the Week.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know. That reminded me of that.
The only thing I had to hang around my thing is my Scotch for Dummies little bottle necklace. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to like put a little ghost sticker on it or something. Make it spooky. It's almost spooky season, so
we're getting close.
I can't wait.
I obviously can't do this, but Brianna, who is behind the scenes at the society, some people have maybe spoken with her, but she's does not get the credit she deserves. No. I went to this whiskey event that I think it was related with women who whiskey and all that kind of stuff. And I got a pin for her that I've been holding on to for like 2 years because I haven't seen her. It says, "I am woman, hear me pour."
Oh, I love it.
And like, it's just a whiskey industry pin. And it's like, I'm so excited to be able to give her that. So I hope she uses that as like a trinket to denote the whiskey of the week.
There you go. Yeah, I feel like we should all have like you said, like staff picks. You know, we can each
Tuna of the
have our own
week.
little like avatar or whatever. Like yours would be a tuna.
Yeah. Especially because I love oily and coastal. Every time it would just be like whatever oily and coastal is on there, that's the tuna of the week.
Tuna of the week. I love it. I'm gonna bank that and use that.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to.
There's like a very small audience that will be 11 out of 10 thrilled when they hear you say tuna of the week.
Tuna of the week. Oh gosh. All right.
All right, into Peteland.
I don't know. I'm like, is it my eyes? I mean, I do have new glasses coming because I kind of need them, but the color on this one too is
Yeah?
yeah. Look at it.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Look at it.
I'm trying. Jeez. Worth noting, up to 65.1% now. So
Oh yeah.
we're jumping.
Jump.
We've gone plaid.
Yeah. I did have to look at this ABV twice and I was doing it. I was like, is that right?
Oh, wow. That is really dark.
Right?
It's
I mean,
9 years old?
Yeah, retard hogshead, but
9 years old. Yeah.
I don't know if you can. I mean, it's like a very pretty, like, what color is that? Ochre? Like an ochre color? Is that the right word?
That is a color that I wouldn't begin to pretend to know what ochre looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to scroll up on my Excel so I could actually see what it is we're looking at before I could show everybody. 1679 robust grubby smoke distillery. 16 the peated variants were a revelation to me from the society when I first started trying those. Like young, meaty, thick, just freaking amazing. So we're looking at 9 years refill hogshead on this one.
Recharred hogshead on this one. I think that's where we're getting some of that
Recharred hogshead.
Recharred. Getting some of that pretty.
Well, that was not input correctly on our master plan spreadsheet. Oh, recharred hogshead. And we're at 65.1%. So that is a punchy fella.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Yes.
Like a sleeper.
Wakes you up. No, I mean,
it's buttery. It doesn't smell too aggressive.
It doesn't, and it also doesn't have like that meaty, like this distillery when they're heavily peated. For me, it's almost like you've got the meat on a spit over the fire and the fat's like dripping off of it. You know, it's like so thick and rich and heavy. I'm not getting that here. It's like almost a little gamey.
Oh, I could see that.
But not so big. It's not in your face.
No.
Blowing out smoke. I would maybe almost call this lightly peated. Am I correct? I'm getting like a carbonated pizza crust. You know, when you get like Neapolitan pizza. What do they call it? Yeah. Anyway, when you get like a old school Italian, authentic, artisanal pizza, and they char the crust a little bit.
Oh yeah. All right. I don't know why this smells so buttery to me. Like you are like just slapping just like melty high fat butter on like corn on the cob on the grill. Like there's a sweetness to it.
This or the 597 more, which is the butterier whiskey of the night.
I don't know. This one smells like very buttery, like cornbread almost, like heavily buttered cornbread.
I actually can see that because it's got kind of like the green and the sweet that you can get from corn, but then it's fatty. It's pretty green, actually, now that I kind of focus in on that. Like it is kind of vegetal green, young lumber.
I mean, like, and I'm getting my nose in there, and it's a little like, "Ooh, you sure about that? Like, you want to do that?
Oh,
It's
don't forget. Don't forget.
ooh, it's a
Yeah.
little sharp,
It flares the nostrils.
a little bit. Like, ooh, it's like that sensation of like, smelling Vicks or something. You're like, oh, all right. Yeah, but it's like a buttery. It's almost like a mentholated.
I'm getting more of the corn.
Yeah, like
as
cornbread.
Yeah.
And Sean Spake says cornbread from a single malt is an interesting note. I've only ever gotten that off of bourbon.
This has like more of, well, I don't want to speak for Sean here. For me, I can get corn a lot from bourbon, or like caramel corn, or popcorn, kettle corn.
Yeah.
This is like distinctly cornbread. Like it's a little dry, it's a little bready.
Yeah, it is.
Or like corn muffin.
Yeah. That's wild. So like in the South growing up, here it comes. When a lot of people would make cornbread, they would use like a Jiffy cornbread pack. And then you put a lot of melted butter and sugar in it, like in the mix, and do it because it's delicious if you like cornbread. But that's what this is reminding me of. Like
lessons on growing up in the South from Jenna. The last time, what was it? You put Coca-Cola with
peanuts.
Peanuts. Now it's cornbread from a Jiffy sugar.
Remember?
That's Georgia Boba. Oh yeah, with a fly in it.
Yes, that's Georgia Boba.
All right.
All right.
Going in.
Let's do it. I took a baby sip because I was scared.
I did not, and I was fine. It actually didn't slap me around at all.
I wouldn't think this was 65, but we've also had 4 whiskeys before this, but it is not as
getting nothing in the chest. I mean, it's
not like the death seat.
If you told me it was 58,
yeah,
9,
even 60, I could put this at, but 65.
No, 65 normally announces its presence.
Yeah, and I feel like this is. I'm like, as I'm talking, this is like quite sweet.
Yeah, so that's, I think, depending on your perspective, warning or like spotlight number 1 I would put on this whiskey is if you've been doing heavily peated Society Distillery 16, this is a different lane. Like you are changing up the recipe on this whiskey. It is much lighter. It is breadier. It is more malt driven. I mean, it's not that heavy, thick, peaty.
No.
I'd almost say it's got a bit more maturity to it than this, but it's almost like if you did a peated version of Young and Sprightly.
Yeah.
Because you have like, it's obviously not new make. I mean, you can tell from the color it's 9 years old, but it's still got a lot of spirit character going on. The peat isn't too in your face. The cask influence isn't super strong. I don't know. It's got a nice flavor to it. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm deriding the flavor. It's just when I see Distillery 16 heavily peated, like I get really excited for that thick, meaty, like, oh, this is
campfire, like,
like an ogre is presenting me some crazy whiskey. And this is not that. It's a much subtler, even at 65%, much subtler, kind of more approachable style on that.
Yeah. A lot of youth. It's a very youthful, like, I think Young and Sprightly is like so spot on. Like if you really enjoy the elements of a Young and Sprightly whiskey, this, and happen to like peated whiskey as well, I think this is a no-brainer. And like, even as I'm talking, there is like a sweetness to this whiskey, like an actual, I know technically you don't use like sweet to describe whiskeys, but there is like a sweetness about this. And I'm trying to just like pinpoint what exactly it is. At first I was like, oh, maybe it's like a honeyed sweetness, but no, it's like, it's like
No,
we're dialed up. It's not as like,
it's not sugary like that.
it's different. But I just can't quite put my finger on what it is.
I mean, could it be?
Like,
It's not quite this either. It's almost like a sweet roll, like bread.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe like a honey bun.
A honey bun? I've never had one.
What? Charlie.
Sorry.
You live in the South and you have never had a honey bun.
I grew up on cardamom buns. What can I say?
Okay, listen, those are fighting words, and you and I are about to fight it out. Because I haven't had one of those, but I will pick that over a honey bun any day. But I did eat a lot of honey buns in high school.
Like the ones that come in the plastic.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. There was a guy in my high school who every day would take one and microwave it in the plastic still. And he was like, no, don't do that. And he was like, oh, that's how I like it. Like,
melted plastic on your honey bun.
No. So
oh my gosh, I haven't thought about those in a long time. Very long time. But yeah, that's what it is. It's a honey bun.
It's a slightly smoky. I mean, I would actually say this is more peat than smoke.
Yeah.
It's not very smoky at all, but it is decently peaty.
Yeah, and like you said, I think this does teeter on that like lightly peated. Just because like the peat isn't, I don't know, it's just not as like, I know the name says like robust grubby smoke, but I don't find it to be as like robust of a peat as typically we find in like our peated category. I think it teeters on the fence on that one for me at least.
I'm gonna go against the panel on this one. I don't think it's super robust. I don't think it's super grubby, and I don't think it's super smoky.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like a dialed up Elsa Bay.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Like, that sweet peat, but like just dialed up a little bit.
With a little bit of like Highland farminess thrown in there.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the kelpy, iodine-y, medicinal at all.
Definitely more farmy. But that is what this is like taking me to. Like just farmier Elsa Bay.
That's a cool comparison. Also, thank you for telling me how to pronounce that. That's one I actually didn't know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I picked that up. It's been a hot minute, but yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah.
All right. Well,
this was a terrible time. Really.
Terrible.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I would tune in just for that third one. A barrel of laughs. I still can't get over it.
Yeah, that was wild. But really, I mean, to kind of just go back through the lineup, I mean, that first one is just like beautiful, classic, like just, I will be happy to have that in my glass any day of the week. Like just a classic, beautifully composed Bayside whiskey. I was really, really impressed with that first one.
I think the difference for me between 1 and 3 is, I mean, aside from all the many differences in how they actually taste, like number one, I know what's going on with that first one. Like those, right. It's a world of familiar and just absolutely delicious. Like I said, when we tasted it, this is like, you're taking that classic profile. It's what anyone who says they like single malt would find familiar, and you're just doing it better.
Yeah.
The not distillery 3, the bottle 3 we poured, the 12.73 threw me for a loop. I mean, that was just like different and exciting and fun and crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. That one totally caught me off guard as well. I was like, yes, HTMC. Hell yeah. Love those. Oh, really? You love them? Yeah, I really love them because that one was just like amazing. And then the second one, the 5.97, just again, beautiful 18-year, like
Lowland, fatty, vanilla, oak cask influence, a little bit dusty, Twizzlers. I mean, it was, a lot.
yeah. And then what do we have? Deep rich and dried fruits.
77, 74. I mean,
74.
it just was balanced, like really nicely balanced. Good mix of the 2 cask treatments on that one. That sherry finish, just bringing a little extra sweetness. Quite dry. Lots of dried fruits. Lots and lots of dried fruits.
Dusty. Haunted Mansion.
Haunted
spooky,
Mansions. Fall
whiskey.
all day.
All day.
Get it, drink it, tuck it away, bring it back out. It's going to have its time.
And then we had the last one, 16.79. Yeah.
Robust. Grubby Highland.
That's not quite robust or grubby, but more sweet peat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little farmy
sweet peat.
And shockingly approachable for 65%.
At 65.1%.
Yeah.
Maybe don't make that your first whiskey of the night.
It might accidentally end up being your last.
Yeah. Maybe, ease into that one. But yeah, not as aggressive as I thought it would be at that ABV. So yeah, all in all.
All right.
Good stuff.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have a tuna of the week that you would like to share with us, go to our Discord, give us a call, hit us in the DMs. I don't know where else you might be able to find us, but society or otherwise, we love good whiskey. So let us know what your tuna of the week might be.
And if you're not in the Discord channel, it is for members only, send myself an email or Charlie an email, or I guess you're on this side, Charlie an email, at Jenna@SMWSA or Charlie@SMWSA, and we'll get an invite sent over to you for the Discord.
And if you happen to be in Denver, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, hopefully I didn't miss anywhere, get yourself a ticket if you don't already have one. Go spend a night with Tom from the Society and probably more of the draw to the event, Dave Broom, for a book signing and tasting.
Yeah. So, well, that's the tea. And these will go live on the website tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern time. You're more than welcome to give us a call to place your orders or log into your account and place them that way. And if you have any questions, reach out. We're happy to help.
Good night, everybody. Slanjava.
Thanks, Charlie.
Bye, Jenna.
Bye.